All right, guys, well, good news. If you're getting this email, it means you've either received your bike probably today or you're about to receive it. So that is awesome. And just firstly, stoked that you chose to get a braaap. It really does mean the world to us because we're a family business. It matters to us. We're underdogs. We're competing against much larger competitors. So to have you choose braaap is awesome to us. We love it. And the best news is you've waited and now your bike's ready. So let's talk about everything you need to do. And you've just received your bike, how to start it, some admin stuff you've got to check out, and then obviously getting ready for your first ride. So I'm going to go through what's going to be on your inbox today, and then we'll talk about some of the practicals of the bike. So follow along. It's going to go for a little bit, but it's worth watching this stuff. One of the main reasons that I'm trying to do these videos is to make you feel local, even though you're probably interstate, and also our sales team, mechanical team, admin team are all here to support you, but the phone rings hot. So yeah, if you want to get in contact with us, I'll get Ethan to edit in the phone numbers here. Please try and just SMS us and we will call you back. The missed calls are huge here at the moment. So yeah, SMS is a great way to get through to us. And also we're trying to increase our learning management system with the SelfService and the braaap platform to educate you, the braaap University we call it, to educate you on all the things to do with the bike. So you can check that out, braaapuniversity.com. But for now, let's go through everything. So first of all, I'm hoping that you've received your email from PWS Motorcycles or whatever dealer you purchased your bike from. So I've got it here on my screen. I'm going to run through it with you. Hopefully Ethan edits it into your video. And the first thing I want you to see here is it talks about how I've allocated you a VIN number and an engine number. So the VIN number is written on the side of the neck stem here. We want you to do a check to make sure the VIN number you've received is the same as the VIN number on your proof of purchase. There's actually 2 emails that you would have received from us like immediately as soon as your bike was allocated to you. One is called the ST250 owner's info. It's a must read, it says. And the other is called the VIN and Engine Number allocated. That's the subject line. So both of those 2 emails should be on your inbox. Please open up the VIN and Engine Number allocated one. It's got your proof of purchase doc. Print that out if you're going to register your bike yourself. There's also links on how to register your bike if you're interstate. If you're in Victoria, the dealership can do it for you, or if you've paid for rego, one of the dealers is going to register it for you. It's still good to have this proof of purchase. But if you're going to say the RMS in New South Wales or the Transport Office in other states, take this proof of purchase because it has your VIN number here, your engine number and your compliance date. Please verify that this email, the number written on the neck stem of your bike, and also down here you'll see a silver sticker, which is your compliance plate. So just please make sure they're all the same, they should be. It's good to know. Then you'll see here all the information on the VIN allocated email, just that you're going to need for registration. The IPA, ADR approval number, engine capacity, number of cylinders, fuel type, date of manufacturer, all that type of stuff. So it's all there. So check that. So that's the first bit of practical admin. The second thing is hopefully you've purchased insurance and roadside. If you haven't, please get in contact with us or whoever you use and get that. But we just encourage you to call your insurance provider and your roadside provider and ensure your rego number and your VIN number are registered on their platform. So if you purchased insurance through us, normally we use My Bike Insurance, which is backed by Yamaha Motor Insurance. Please give them a buzz. Make sure your details are correct. Make sure you save their details in your phone. And again, the most important thing is you're checking the VIN, engine and rego number are updated onto their system. Our process at the moment, it might change by the time we get this video, but our process at the moment is that you have to call them to give them that information so that it's come from the horse's mouth yourself. So yeah, so all right, 3 attachments. The owner's manual is attached to this email, so you can check that out. Obviously, if you're going to self-service, we have the braaap University platform for that, but the owner's manual's got some handy hints. We've got an FAQ sheet, which I really recommend reading. So the owner's manual, you can kind of put that aside if you're not into that, but the FAQ I really think everyone should read. It's got all the basics. We get asked the most common questions, especially to people who are new riders or new to braaap. It's really good to run through that FAQ. And then I've also attached the parts manual so you can start to see all the parts are available. Have our product codes, our description, all that stuff there. So if you do need any warranty support, you can use that parts manual, or you can just call us and we can help you with that as well. So when the time comes. All right, so I'm going to run through some of the boring stuff here. You're about to start your bike, or so on the email here, we've gone through the first 2 points. That is checking your compliance plate, checking your VIN number. Point number 3 is that it's a new engine. You have to run your bike in. We highly recommend for the first few 100 Ks. We say 500 Ks. Just don't rev the guts out of it and treat your bike like hell. Be nice to it, be aware of things. It's a brand new motorcycle, so that first ride is, and the first 500 Ks are really an opportunity to make sure everything's correct, everything's bedding in correctly, and that means really try and keep it around 80 Ks. Man, if you have to go to 100 and stuff, do it, don't stress, but just, you know, don't hold it pinned for as long as possible. Just be nice to it, basically. And give it an oil change and a service at 500 Ks for your first service, is what we call the finish of your run-in period. After that, you're looking at every 3,000 to 3,500 Ks for your servicing. Next one's fuel. We're not allowed to store much fuel. We're in the warehouse here. You can't see behind me. The boys are putting bikes together. But we only put a litre or 2 of fuel in. So please go fill it up. Give the bike 15 minutes of warming up and riding before you stress about if it doesn't idle or any of those things. Let it have a bit of a ride, give it 15 minutes, and then you can assess any of your things like your idling, which we'll go through in a minute. But that's a good one. Next thing is tyres. Please check your tyres. You want between 28 and 32 PSI in your tyres. Really important to make sure you check that yourself. And just remember as well that these are brand new bikes, so the tyres are good, they're safe, all that stuff, but they're shiny when they're new. So any bike, the first sort of 50 Ks, just be tentative as you start to lean it over. Really good if you can give the tyres a rub down to get any oil or shiny stuff from the factory off them as well. But just take it easy to start with is the big one. Your fuel tap, make sure your fuel tap is on. So we're gonna go here, up and down is on, sideways is off. So you want that up and down. Your mirrors, so you can adjust your mirrors. Obviously this is how you want them, but you can adjust them up, or they're tight. You can loosen that bolt there off and adjust them up and down, and then you can adjust them like this as well. And you can loosen and tighten this bolt here to move them in and out further. So really check your mirrors before you ride, get them set up. We talked earlier about roadside and insurance, so I'll cover that off. Number 10 is lifetime warranty. Really, it's an opportunity to buy your lifetime warranty. So if you haven't purchased it, please do it. And yeah, obviously if you have purchased it, it's the lifetime of your service regime. So make sure you're either going to service your bike at any dealer, it doesn't have to be us, any mechanic, or join the self-service platform, which there's a link to join the self-service platform there. At the moment it's $17 a month when I'm filming this video. If it changes, obviously read your email. But it's really good to be able to join the self-service. Gives you all the forms so you can fill them out and maintain your warranty if you're going to be servicing your bike at home. Just a note, self-service is discretionary. You're obviously writing the disclaimer that you are the mechanic and you're able to do that. So please, if you're someone new, never used tools, don't know what you're doing, please get your bike serviced somewhere else. It's not designed to be a promotion for us. It's designed to be a platform to facilitate those guys who are already going to service their bikes, already know everything about servicing their own bikes, and we just give them an opportunity to legitimise that and maintain their warranty. So it's not an education platform, although braaap University is getting better and better as we upload more and more videos to that, what we call our learning management system. So we're getting better at that, but yeah, it's not designed to be an education platform for those who've never serviced bikes. All right, so next thing is a couple of tips. Check your chain as you ride your bike. Really important. You can watch the video on how to tighten your chain and tension your chain. Paulie will run you through that. But just make sure you check your chain. You want a little bit of movement there. You don't want it super tight. It is going to loosen and stretch, so you want to make sure you know how to check your chain. Please watch the specific video on that. Keep an eye on it. It's really good for any type of bike to know that about your bike. The last thing on the email here talks about, it would mean a lot to us if you'd go give us a Google review or anything like that. We cop a flogging on the internet from some people, so especially being underdogs, it means a lot to us. Most of our customers are really passionate, love our product, but are quiet. So I'm trying to draw you guys out and get you guys to share any good experience you've had with us. So yeah, and you also get an email from me in about a week or a few weeks asking for your feedback. So I'd love your honest feedback. I actually do read those. We use those to make our system better. And as you've heard me bang on a lot, probably our whole goal is to be #1 value bike in the country. So we're trying to do everything as efficiently as possible and do what you need, but obviously do everything we can to drive the price down. So help us with that. I would love your feedback. So that's that email. The final bit actually that I should talk about is if you need any mechanical help, if you have any issues, please email or call. SMS is really the best format though. The number is, I'll make sure I read it off here, 0449901123. Sure, Ethan will put that up here as well. Please SMS that if you have any issues. We man the phone, but we have a lot of missed calls because people are wanting to buy parts and stuff on that phone too as well. So that's if you have issues, call that phone. If you need warranty information, call that phone. Or if you want to buy spare parts, those guys can help you there as well. So yeah, oh, and Paulie asked me to put that's my dad, our head mechanic is Paul, Dad, Paulie. He asked me to put a suggestion on this email. That is, please talk to us rather than go to forums and stuff. We just get so many people confused because they've got like 1% or 30% of the information from a third sort of person through a forum or whatever. Just come to us. We're here to help. SMS us. We'll call you back. We're always doing our best to get in contact and to guide you through stuff, especially if you have any warranty issues. Please just call us. Most of the time, we find it's really simple stuff, and more than half the time it's user error just because it's a brand new bike and you're not experienced with our product. So touch base with us. We'd love to just help you immediately as best we can. And yeah, I think that's all for that email. You've heard me talk about all this stuff enough. Let me now show you and run you through what I would do if I just received the bike and how to start it and all that stuff. All right, so first we're going to flick our key on. We're going to flick the kill switch down. This is really important. Not everyone, we have a lot every weekend someone hasn't been able to start their bike. Yeah, so step one, we start in, flick the key on obviously. Make sure the kill switch is down. See the cross? That means off. The one down means on. That's really important. People always mess that up. You need to pull your clutch in and then you just hit the red button over here. So my bike's cold. I haven't started this, see it didn't go. So what we're going to do now is come down to our choke. Down is off, up is on, and middle is obviously in the middle. Now it's hot as hell here today, so I'm just going to put it in the middle and I'm going to give it a little bit of throttle. So you don't want to be doing this type of thing if you have to give it throttle. You just want to hold it on just a little bit like that and I bet it'll go. There we go. Easy as. So we don't want to be doing all this stuff. See, it stopped anyway. We want to be giving a little bit of throttle. Let it warm up. Give it a second, let it warm up. And then when after 30 seconds to a couple of minutes, drop your choke down. Yeah, so once you get it started like that with the choke on, give it a minute or two and just keep it idling until it's warm and then drop the choke off. And you don't want to be riding with the choke up, you want to be riding with the choke down and off. So that's now off. So this is a really good example. Bike's cold, I've turned the choke off quick, hasn't started. So now I'm just going to try a half choke. There, see how we go. Start. So hopefully you can hear me. So you can hear that it's just holding a little bit of throttle, letting it warm up. See, the bike's not quite, it's only just idling and it stopped idling. That's totally normal when the bike's cold. Don't stress, just give it a bit more time to idle. If it's the first time the bike's been ridden, it's okay if you have to hold a little bit of throttle on till the bike's been cleared out a little bit, so don't stress. But what I want to show you, if you have ridden for 15 minutes or 20 minutes and your bike won't idle, idle means that it runs without you touching the throttle. I want to show you how to adjust the idle screw. So Ethan's going to come around this side, really easy. While we do that, I should note that if something happens like this and you have to adjust things or whatever, just turn your ignition switch off or turn your lights off here at least. but I recommend leaving your lights on all the time and just trying to keep your ignition switch off so you don't flatten your battery. Really common if like someone, like every few weeks someone leaves their kill switch off and then just like hits the button. See, even though the kill switch is off, it sounds like it wants to go. You can flatten the battery if you do that for 5 minutes. So anyway, engine finished. We'll go to how to adjust the idle. So you can see here, Ethan's showing you on the camera, this is your idle screw. If you wind it in, you should use a screwdriver. Grab a small screwdriver. If you wind it in like half a turn, you'll hear the bike now idles much higher. Look at that, straight away the bike idles without me touching it. Now, I don't want you to do this if the bike's brand new, only after you've ridden it for 20 minutes, you've given it a full tank of petrol, all that type of thing, and generally we would only adjust the idle with the bike going. So I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but you can notice the engine's now revving a little bit higher, so there it goes. I've turned the idle up. So I'll turn it back down now. There you go. I want my bike to just idle, very comfortable. That's easy. Good information for you to know. I reckon one bike out of every 200 has to do this. I just want you to know how to drain your carby, just in case it's not good fuel, or maybe your bike's taken a couple of weeks to get to you if you live like in Darwin or somewhere like that. And the bike, once you've given it a full tank of petrol, you may have to drain your carby. Most customers don't have to do this, but it's good to know if you're stuck. So grab the screwdriver, that screw there, loosen it off. You'll see petrol start to come out the bottom. Let it do that for a minute or two. Leave it longer than I've left it here. I'm inside. Do it outside somewhere that the petrol's not going to cause a problem. And that's how you drain your carby. I just like to teach people that. Carbies are great because it's not fuel injected. It doesn't mean you need a laptop. You can do things yourself. That's one of the things I love about the ST250 is that it's very easy to work on and to troubleshoot if anything really minor like that happens. So the reason I showed that as well is a lot of FIFO workers or people who don't ride over the winter. It's important that if you haven't ridden for a few months, the fuel may have gone stale in your carburetor, so it's good to know how to drain it if you haven't ridden for a few months. All right, guys, so you shouldn't have a flat battery, obviously, but I'm going to show you where your battery is, just in case you leave your ignition on or something's happened and you get a flat battery. So over this side is your battery. Some of you guys have got trickle chargers. You can buy them from us or from other auto places. Sometimes they're really good to put on if you're having troubles, you're not riding enough and you've got battery issues, especially if you don't ride for winter. It's nice to have a trickle charger. So batteries over this side. I want to show you how to put these covers on. It's really easy. See the rubber grommets? You literally just put it in place there, that bottom one. It's a bit more difficult with the old saddlebags on, and then you're pushing them, just literally clicking it in and in. Very easy. You've got a toolkit here as well. You can see that, it comes up. Oh. And it's a cool toolkit there. So yeah, not much in the toolkit, but good bit of storage there. Good to know. So I'm going to show you how to kickstart it as well. If your battery does go flat in the city or something like that, it's really good to have roadside in case anything goes wrong. But how to kickstart or roll start. Firstly, if you're going to roll start it, you want key on, kill switch on, second gear, down a hill, roll, let go of the clutch and sit on the seat. Hopefully you don't ever need to do that. You can YouTube that. But how to kickstart this. So how to kickstart, firstly, key on, ignition on. I always leave it on the stand. It's really painful to kickstart. You don't want to be doing this. Some people think it's cool because it's old school, but I literally never kickstart my bike. You shouldn't ever have a flat battery. Anyway, nonetheless, good to know. Get it to where it's firm like this. Oh, get it to where it's firm and you're pushing down. See, it's quite hard to kick. You might need a little bit of throttle. So I'm going to give it a bit of throttle there. You can see that. Very easy. So notice I have my clutch in. It's in neutral. A little bit of throttle. None of this stuff. Only just hold the throttle and then kick it. Should be very easy. Hopefully you don't need that. So how to fill your bike up with petrol? Obviously, first thing I want you to do, take your key out, it goes in here, That's up, very easy, but see you got an arrow at the front. So put that arrow facing forwards, then 2 fingers, see it clicks like that, out, that's it. Try not to spill petrol in your tank like I did. That's that one. Show you guys how to get the bike into neutral. This is really, I don't know, just a bit of a hot tip because it's hard to get the bike in neutral when the bike's going. So I live in an apartment, I pull into my shed, pull the clutch in, roll into the shed with the bike in gear like that, and then I'll let the clutch out, turn the bike off, and then I'll find neutral when the bike's off. So I roll backwards and forwards, you can see and I can feel that that's in neutral. So you want to roll back, forwards, and then somewhere in the middle, you go all the way down, make sure you're in first while you're doing that. And then you want to go halfway up, so just a little click up, and then you can see it's neutral, really easy. Now if you do that and put it in neutral while the bike's going, it's difficult. You shouldn't go into neutral at the lights, in my opinion. It's dangerous. A tip that I have for any riders is always, if you're on the road, you want to be in gear with your fingers covering the front brake and your clutch in at the lights, and you want to be covering your mirrors. If you don't lane split, I don't know if it's legal for you in your state, if you don't lane split, like you're not sitting between 2 cars, and you're the last person in line of like the traffic jam, you're highly vulnerable. So you want to leave your bike in gear, be aware of what's going on behind you, just in case you need to get out of the way of anyone. And I always cover the front brake, all that type of thing. And yeah, so you shouldn't need to find neutral while the bike's running. Obviously you want to start the bike when it's in neutral as well, as best you can. I recommend that. You've got a neutral light here on the Speedo, so I might get Ethan to come and show us that. You've got a gear indicator. So what I would do is always, before I start the bike, put it in neutral. You've got to pull the clutch in. You then start it, it's very easy. But you have to let the clutch out at some point, obviously. Your neutral light's on. I want you to never take for granted that it's actually in neutral in case you've selected a skinny neutral. So I would always let the clutch out slowly as if the bike is in gear and going to take off. So never had that happen, but it's just good habit to be in. Obviously the light should work all the time and you shouldn't be in a skinny neutral, or a false neutral, sorry, but it can happen. So how to use your trip meter, you can roll it back to 0 here, see? And I use this to manage my fuel levels, 250 Ks to a tank. So yeah, that's what I would normally do, is I use this when it gets to 250, go and get petrol and then wind it back to 0. It's about to get off the stand, so the stand flicks up. You can see that. It's designed to flick up so it doesn't get left down and be dangerous. So make sure you hold it down until the weight is on it and then let go. Really important. I recommend upgrading to the center stand. It's a really good upgrade, the center stand. But the bike, obviously, if you get off this side, now you've got no control over your stand. So always get off on the clutch side and do it. I like to put the stand down when I'm off the bike. So another little hot tip. I think that's enough. If you're hearing from me, get out and ride, have fun. Obviously there's lots of upgrades for these things. We're here to help with that. We're getting more and more parts. Please check out the Custom Cafe Racer blog. And if you haven't seen that before, braaap Custom Cafe Racer is something worth Googling. You'll see heaps of options and extras, and please send us in photos. I want to see more and more about what you guys are doing with your bike. So yeah, stoked to have you with us. Enjoy. And just ride. Talk soon. Bye.